The interesting thing you mentioned in my extensive research, you used to do 1,200 to 1,400 an hour, and then you said that you're thinking of jumping back in at a rate of 2,400 the first hour,
Yeah.
and I think 900 each successive hour.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's like that. I mean, to me, that's really interesting. Like the first, like why? It's like
Why
a
the
lot on the first
discrepancy?
hour. Yeah.
Oh, it's just because it's like depends on how you want to incentivize like the amount of hours. So if you have to pay a lot for the first hour, but not very much for the successive, you're more likely to buy like a longer period of time. And usually, I find that clients who buy a longer period of time are nicer to you.
Mhm.
I don't have like a great theory for why that is, but they're more likely to like take you to dinner and get to know you first. And I just enjoy that a lot more. I enjoy like knowing who I'm gonna have sex with, like a date, you know?
Yeah. So it incentivize the long form date dynamic
Yeah.
versus like not. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. How does money change the dynamic? Just basic human dynamic of interacting for free versus for money. Like I think about that a lot because like just talking to rich people, it's like you usually
Yeah.
get paid for your time, and you're doing this for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Like what's the difference? Is there a difference really, or no?
A bit, yeah. So I've actually, it depends a lot. So when I was doing it full time, it was my only source of income. It changed quite a lot because I was really incentivized to have repeat customers.
Mm,
So I'm like, okay, if I'm my primary interaction with you is to like have you hire me again, and
sure.
I'll do whatever that takes to make that happen. And so if I have to like laugh at jokes that I don't find funny or like
Oh, that's
be like
horrible.
more adoring of your penis than I actually genuinely feel, like that's what I'm going to express.
Yeah.
And obviously it's to some degree like titrated, like it's unpleasant to force yourself to like something that you don't. So like I would actually like not see clients again that I didn't want to, but it's just some degree there was this sort of self-suppression going on, which I think is the way it works in any sort of customer service job. Like you want the customer to leave happy. So you just make sure that you are happy the whole time and you're like, really enjoying the other person. But so recently when I've like kind of dabbled in it since making money through other means,
Hmm.
where I don't need the money. It's more like a fun side thing that that I'm, like I said, it's filling the role of casual sex for me. So like I don't have to do it. This is not my primary job. I just want sort of a good excuse to like have sex with somebody. And the money is like a great filter for that. And so in that
Oh,
case,
that's interesting. So the money is just, yeah, okay. The money is basically a filter for somebody who's taking this interaction seriously.
yeah. It also, so there's an interesting like psychological thing where I have difficulty having casual sex with somebody because some part of my brain, which I assume is like quite female, is doing some evaluation of status and whether or not this is going to damage my reputation by having sex with them. So like if you found out that I went and like had random sex with like a homeless man,
Yeah.
you might be like, wow, that says something about Aella. Like maybe she's, trashy or she just has no standards for who she's gonna fuck. And so some part of me is continually anxious. I'm like, does this mean I have no standards if I decide to have casual sex with you? Like, what are people going to think? And so if you introduce money, it takes away that anxiety. I don't have to worry about it because it's like, oh, of course Ayla would have sex with that person. They paid her. Like, this is not an indication of the kind of mate that she can get. This is just an indication of like a business transaction. And this allows me to enjoy casual sex so much more when somebody pays me for it, to the degree that like I almost view it as a kink. And so it's like, so I'm using it sort of to replace casual sex now. Like occasionally I'm like, just pay, like it's pay me a little bit to erase the anxiety and I'll like have a fun
I mean,
time.
can't you see like dinner like that or something like that if the person pays for dinner? Or like, so like it's all just if any money's involved, if it's a kink, then you could just like use it and you you buys a coffee at a Starbucks. It's like, all right.
Right. But it has to be plausible. Like you have to like trick my brain into like having it actually be incentivizing for me.
Two
Because if then
coffees, like a
if you're like, oh,
cappuccino or something, or
yeah, like,
what?
oh, the homeless man bought me a coffee and then I sucked his dick. Like that's not cool.
All right. So
No shade to homeless men, by the way. Like I've been friends with a lot of them. I'm just using like some sort of stereotype of
yeah.
right now.
So like it has to be plausible where you could trick your mind. Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And so that's different. So now in this sort of frame, I am still like I'm accepting money, but still much more expressive of my actual preferences. So like before when I would start escorting full time, I was suppressive, and now I'm like, fuck it, like I'm doing this for me,
Mhm.
so we're going to make sure that I have a good time, and so I'm much more demanding.
And then you're having more fun because you're not pretending, like
Exactly.
laughing at a joke or something
Yeah.
like that. That sounds terrible. Sounds
I
like,
mean,
but it's also like social. I mean, I guess I would. Would I do that? Like when you first meet people, like strangers and so
yeah.
on, there's some aspect of like niceties, but like I don't know, intimacy, like real intimacy requires like getting past the niceties. Like laughing at somebody's joke when it's not funny feels like anti-intimacy.
Yeah, but I laugh at so many jokes automatically. Even it's
Right.
interesting because like
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
mean to. I'm not trying to be fake. But
Yeah.
like if I'm in a group of people and somebody makes a joke and everybody laughs, I laugh even before I'm checking within myself. Like,
Yeah.
do I genuinely enjoy this joke?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know, like the degree that I am sort of just like a result of social programming in all cases.
Sure.
That like when I'm with a client back when I was doing it full time, like it doesn't feel significantly different. It just felt like a different version of myself.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, to that degree, to the degree you don't feel like you're going against
Yeah.
your nature. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very rare that I actually felt like I was going against my nature.
What about the market of how much to charge? So 2,400. Like, how transparent is that market? Is there like a market?
Like, how much can you sell when you're charging that much?
Yeah, no. Like, what are the competitors? Like, if this,
Oh yeah.
like, what do you, are you distinctly what? Because you said it's a lot of it is a bit more shrouded in mystery.
Mhm.
Like, it's a more confidential. Like, do you have some transparency to the market, what the competitors are, and
I did a
so?
survey of escorts. It's only like 130. I'm trying to remember. And the median was around like $300, I think, an hour,
Oh wow.
something like that, with a very long tail at the top end. But I'm trying to remember what I also asked the amount where I could calculate the amount they made per month. I think it was like $6,000 or $7,000 a month.
Hmm.
I need to double check that one, but
I charge $50 an hour.
you charge $50 an hour. You should raise your rates.
Yeah, I give a really shitty hand job. All right.
But usually the rates are around like if you want a median escort in a big city, it's usually $400 to
A
$600.
city, so the urban, sorry, four to 600.
In a big city. But like smaller cities, you charge the rates go lower.
Um, so that's so fascinating. What's like the most you've ever seen somebody charge?
Uh, I think I am.
You're like the
But at this point, it's because I'm post work. Like I can just put it in and say number.
does like in like does the fact that you're sort of like a sexuality expert, like a researcher and so on, like your mind is fascinating as well, and you're a bit of a celebrity. Does that play into it?
Yeah.
Or do you feel the celebrity now? Like when you're
Yeah.
with people?
Yeah, absolutely. Usually, if people are interested in hanging out with me, it's because of that. Um, but that's different. Like I think besides the fun part, like this is a kink as opposed to this is a job. Like with this is a job, usually the high end is closer to 2,000 an hour,
Mhm.
like the very high end.